He had felt pity for the Muslims of Medina, but even that pity had given him pleasure. It was a blood feud. It was a matter of his honor. Crushing the Muslims was his resolve. Many days after the Battle of Uhud, he had learned that when the Quraysh were gathering their army in Mecca, the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, had received the information, and when this army was on its way to Medina, the Messenger of God, peace and blessings be upon him, was constantly receiving updates about its speed, stops, and distance from Medina. Hazrat Abbas, may Allah be pleased with him, had informed him, peace and blessings be upon him, about the Quraysh army's departure from Mecca. This army of the Quraysh had camped a few miles from Medina near Mount Uhud in a place that was green and had water. Khalid did not know that 2 Muslim spies had seen the entire number of this army and had informed the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him. On the 21st of March, 625 AD, the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, ordered his army to march and camped at the foot of a hill called Sheikhain. He, peace and blessings be upon him, had 1,000 foot soldiers with him, of whom 100 wore armor on their heads. The Mujahideen had only 2 horses, one of which belonged to the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him. At this point, the first dangerous manifestation of the hypocrisy of the hypocrites occurred, which was tantamount to treachery. Some people of Medina had accepted Islam who had not become Muslims from the heart. The Messenger of Allah, peace and blessings be upon him, had called them hypocrites. It was very difficult to know about anyone whether he was a true Muslim or a hypocrite. When the Mujahideen began to march from Medina towards the hill of Sheikhain, an influential man named Abdullah bin Ubay became embroiled in a debate with the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, arguing that since the Quraysh army was 3 times larger, fighting outside Medina would be detrimental. When the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, consulted the other leaders of the Mujahideen, the majority said that fighting outside the city would be better. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, agreed with Abdullah bin Ubay, but he, peace and blessings be upon him, accepted the majority's decision and ordered the march. Abdullah bin Ubay refused to go outside the city. As soon as he retreated, 300 men from the army retreated as well. It was then that it became known that all these were hypocrites, and Abdullah was their leader. Now, against 3,000, the number of Mujahideen had been reduced to only 700. The Messenger of Allah, peace and blessings be upon him, did not lose heart, and taking the 700 with him, arranged the Mujahideen in battle formation at the place called Sheikhain, at the foot of Mount Uhud. Khalid had seen the arrangement of the Muslims from a high hill and, informing his commander Abu Sufyan, had determined the position of his contingent. The Holy Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, had spread the Mujahideen over a length of approximately 1,000 yards. Behind them was a valley, and a hill was on one side of the Mujahideen, but there was nothing on the other side. To strengthen this side, the Messenger of Allah, peace and blessings be upon him, had positioned 50 archers on a nearby hill. The commander of these archers was Abdullah bin Zubair. "Understand your responsibility, Abdullah." The Messenger of God, peace and blessings be upon him, had instructed them, "Watch our rear. The enemy can move and emerge behind us, which is a danger for us. The enemy has more cavalry. They can attack our flank with horsemen. Focus your archers on the horsemen. I have no fear of the infantry." Almost all authentic historians, among whom Ibn Hisham and Waqidi are particularly noteworthy, write that the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, had said to Abdullah bin Zubair, may Allah be pleased with him, in clear words that our rear would only be safe through your vigilance and alertness. Even your slightest negligence can give us a very humiliating defeat. Remember, Abdullah, even if you see the enemy fleeing and us victorious, do not move from this place. If you see that the enemy's pressure on us has increased and you should reach us for help, even then do not leave this place. This height of the hill should not fall into the enemy's hands. This height is yours. From there you will rule over the entire area reached by the arrows of your archers. Khalid had seen the arrangement of the Muslims and told Abu Sufyan that the Muslims would not fight an open field battle. Abu Sufyan was proud of his large numbers. He wanted the battle to be in an open field, that is, on an unlimited front, so that he could crush the Mujahideen of Islam with the impact of his infantry and horses. Khalid's father had started training him in war tactics from childhood. Ambushing the enemy unexpectedly from the flank or rear and defeating the enemy by maneuvering the division of his troops and control over them were part of the training given to him by his father. When he saw the arrangement of the Mujahideen with the eyes of an experienced commander, he felt that the Muslims could display the perfection of art and warfare. Abu Sufyan took his army opposite the Muslims. He sent cavalry to attack the flanks of the Muslims. Khalid was on one flank and Akrama on the other. Both had 100 horsemen with them. The commander of all the horsemen was Amr bin al-As. Abu Sufyan placed 100 archers in front of the infantry. The banner of the Quraysh was held by Talha bin Abi Talha. In the wars of that time, the banner had the importance of a heart. The fall of the banner would break the morale of the army and cause a stampede. The Quraysh began the battle in such a way that a person from their ranks, Abu Amir Fasik, advanced and approached the Mujahideen. Behind him was a number of the slaves of the Quraysh. Abu Amir was a resident of Medina. He was the chief of the Arabias tribe. When the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, migrated from Mecca to Medina, Abu Amir had sworn that he would not rest until he had expelled the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, and all the Muslims from Medina. He was under the spell of a very beautiful Jewish woman and the wealth of the Jews. The anti-Islam activities of the Jews were collapsing. Outwardly, they had made a treaty of friendship and obedience with the Muslims. Abu Amir was a puppet in their hands, but these Jews had made him a friend of the Quraysh. Now, when the Mujahideen came out of Medina to fight against the Quraysh, Abu Amir went to the Quraysh. Many men of his tribe, Aus, had accepted Islam at the blessed hand of the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, and were arrayed in ranks against the Quraysh. Abu Amir went forward and addressed the Mujahideen in a loud voice. The Holy Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, had given him the title of Fasik, wicked. O brave and honorable men of the Aus tribe, Abu Amir Fasik said, you surely know who I am. Listen carefully to my words. He could not complete his challenge when the voice of a Mujahid from the Aus tribe thundered from the ranks of the Mujahideen of Islam, O wicked Fasik, we have spat on your name. Khalid remembered that time. A barrage of stones began to rain down from the ranks of the Mujahideen of Islam on Abu Amir and the slaves who had gone with him. Historians write that the stone throwers were the Mujahideen of the Arabias tribe. Abu Amir and the slaves who were within the range of the Mujahideen stones, having received 1 or 2 stones each, ran back. The Jews were sitting in Medina, waiting for news of the battle. The Jewish woman under whose spell Abu Amir was captivated was eager to hear news of his success. She did not yet know that the Muslims had stoned the spell of her beauty and youth. Before this incident of Abu Amir Fasik, the women who had gone with the army of the Quraysh were standing in the midst of the army, singing melodious songs in which the mention of the Quraysh killed in Badr was made in such words and in such a style that the blood of the listeners would boil and their hair would stand on end. 1 or 2 of these women had also heated the blood of the Quraysh in the form of passionate speeches. When the order was given for the women to go back, Hinda, the wife of Abu Sufyan, mounted a horse and began to sing a song. Her voice was loud and it had pathos. The writers of history did not record the entire verses of this song. They wrote that this song was obscene, in which the veiled relationships between men and women were mentioned. The verses that have come down in history are as follows. In them, the name of Abd al-Dar appears. This is Banu Abd al-Dar. Banu Umayyah was a branch of it. Banu Abd al-Dar was a very high-ranking family of the Quraysh. O sons of Abd al-Dar, guardians of our homes, we are the daughters of the night. We move between the cushions. In this movement there is pleasure and delight. If you charge at the enemy, we will embrace you to our breasts. If you flee, we will not come near you. After this, stoning occurred on Abu Amir Fasik from the side of the Mujahideen of Islam, and immediately after that, the Quraysh began to throw arrows at the Mujahideen. The Mujahideen rained down arrows in response. Khalid, with his 100 horsemen, quickly advanced to attack the flank of the Muslims on his side. He did not know that archers were hidden on the heights. His horsemen were fearless. According to the training of his father, he confidently expected that by launching an attack, he would bring the Muslims to a position where they would retreat, and if they did not fight firmly, they would be crushed under the horses of the Quraysh. But his horsemen were still far from the flank of the Muslims when the archers from above left his forward horsemen, neither able to advance nor able to retreat. Each horseman fell after receiving several arrows, and the horses that were hit by arrows wreaked havoc on Khalid's cavalry unit. The rear horsemen turned their horses and retreated. On the other side, the women of the Quraysh began to sing the same song on the beat of tambourines and drums that Hinda had sung alone. That is, O sons of Abd al-Dar, We are the daughters of the night. The historian Waqidi writes that according to the custom of Arab warriors at that time, the stage of one-on-one combat arrived. First, the standard-bearer of the Quraysh, Talha bin Abi Talha, went forward and challenged the Mujahideen of Islam to send someone else to face him. Hazrat Ali, may Allah be pleased with him, the enemy of the religion of the disbelievers, came forward like a gust of fierce wind and said, "I am coming to face you." Talha, holding the banner of his tribe, came raging, brandishing his sword, but his blow pierced the air. He was still recovering when Hazrat Ali's, may Allah be pleased with him, sword inflicted such a deep wound that first his banner fell and then he himself fell. A man from the Quraysh ran forward and picked up the banner and went back. Ali, may Allah be pleased with him, could have struck him down too, but this was not the custom in individual duels. Talha was picked up and taken back. Another man from his family stepped forward. "I am bound to take revenge," he shouted and advanced. "Ali, see the sharpness of my sword." Hazrat Ali, may Allah be pleased with him, silently faced him. Both stared into each other's eyes, circled once, then their swords and shields clashed, and after that, everyone saw blood dripping from Hazrat Ali's, may Allah be pleased with him, sword, and his opponent lying on the ground, writhing. Then several men from the Quraysh stepped forward one after another, challenging and dying in combat with the Mujahideen. Abu Sufyan, the supreme commander of the Quraysh, became uncontrollably angry at seeing his men falling. According to the rules of war, he should not have entered into individual combat because he was the commander. His death could have caused chaos in his army, but he could not control himself. He was riding a horse. He spurred his horse and went forward, challenging. When his wife Hinda saw him going, she mounted her camel and went forward, singing in a very loud voice the same song whose verses also included, "If you flee, we will not let you come near us." Abu Sufyan was riding a horse, but the Muslim who came forward to face him was on foot. History remembers him as Hanzala bin Abi Amir. May Allah be pleased with him. Abu Sufyan had a long spear in his hand. No one expected that a foot soldier with a sword would survive against a horseman with a spear. Abu Sufyan's horse galloped towards Hanzala. May Allah be pleased with him. Abu Sufyan raised his spear, aimed and struck, but Hanzala, may Allah be pleased with him, swiftly moved aside. This happened 3 times. The third time, when Abu Sufyan's horse passed, Hanzala, may Allah be pleased with him, ran after it. When the horse stopped and turned back, Hanzala, may Allah be pleased with him, had reached it. Hanzala, may Allah be pleased with him, attacked the horse's hind legs in such a way that Abu Sufyan fell to the other side. When Hanzala, may Allah be pleased with him, advanced to attack him, Abu Sufyan, running around the fallen horse, began to protect himself and at the same time called out to the Quraysh for help. A foot soldier from the Quraysh ran forward. The Muslims remained under the misconception that this man would take Abu Sufyan with him, but he showed a lack of principle. He attacked Hanzala, may Allah be pleased with him, from behind and martyred him. Abu Sufyan fled back to his ranks. For the final duel, Abdur Rahman bin Abu Bakr came from the side of the Quraysh. The historian Waqidi narrates this incident in such a way that upon the challenge of Abdur Rahman bin Abu Bakr, his father, Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq, may Allah be pleased with him, who had accepted Islam and was with the Messenger of Allah, peace and blessings be upon him, drew his sword and came to face his young son. "Here comes the Muslim father against the infidel son of Abu Bakr Siddiq. May Allah be pleased with him," he called out. When the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, saw that the father and son had come to fight each other, he, peace and blessings be upon him, ran and stopped Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq. May Allah be pleased with him. "Put your sword in its sheath, Abu Bakr," he, peace and blessings be upon him, said. The Holy Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, and he took Abu Bakr Siddiq, may Allah be pleased with him, back. Khalid could still hear the clamor and din of the battle. That scene was preserved in his eyes. As soon as the individual duels ended, the Quraysh launched an attack on the Muslims. The Holy Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, had kept the hill of Uhud behind him, so the Mujahideen of Islam were not in danger of a rear attack. The face-to-face battle was bloody. The number of Muslims was very small. They made up for this deficiency with the perfection of their swordsmanship. If the Quraysh had not had the advantage of numbers and could not stand against the Muslims, they were fighting on the strength of their numbers. Khalid's gaze was on the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him. He, peace and blessings be upon him, was on one flank. This was the flank that Khalid had to attack. This time he ordered his horsemen to gallop their horses forward through the narrow pass and attack the flank of the Muslims. But the 50 archers of Abdullah bin Zubair, may Allah be pleased with him, repulsed the horsemen in such a way that they left behind a few horses and groaning horsemen with wounds. The battle was at its peak. There was only one man who was not fighting. He was wandering around the battlefield with a spear in his hand, as if looking for someone. He was Washi bin Harb. He was looking for Hamza. May Allah be pleased with him. There were 2 rewards for him for killing Hamza. May Allah be pleased with him. One was that his master would free him, and the other was the jewelry of Hinda, the wife of Abu Sufyan, which she was wearing. He saw Hamza, may Allah be pleased with him. He was advancing towards Saba bin Abd al-Uzza, a man of the Quraysh. It was customary in Arabia for women to perform circumcisions. According to the historian Ibn Hisham, the custom of circumcision existed among the Arabs even before Islam. The Saba whom Hamza, may Allah be pleased with him, had challenged, his mother used to perform circumcisions. O son of the circumciser, Hamza, may Allah be pleased with him, had challenged him, come here and look at me for the last time. Saba bin Abd al-Uzza advanced towards Hamza, may Allah be pleased with him, his face red with anger. He was an expert in sword and shield fighting. Hamza, may Allah be pleased with him, was no less. Both approached each other and began to strike. Both their shields were blocking the blows. They kept changing their stances and striking, but the shields kept getting in the way of the swords. At this time, Washi bin Harb, bent over, was slowly advancing towards them. The ground and the bushes had given him cover. Hamza, may Allah be pleased with him, was looking into the eyes of his enemy. He could see nothing but Saba. Washi reached close to him. He was an expert in throwing spears accurately. He got so close that Hamza, may Allah be pleased with him, struck Saba 2 or 3 quick blows, one after another. The last blow was such that Hamza's, may Allah be pleased with him, sword went into Saba's stomach. Hamza, may Allah be pleased with him, pulled the sword out of his stomach in such a way that his stomach burst open even more, and he fell at Hamza's, may Allah be pleased with him.